In the vast expanse of the galaxy, a coalition of peaceful alien races thrived, bound by a common goal of harmony and coexistence. Each member species brought unique strengths, fostering an era of unparalleled prosperity. The Vreens, with their advanced technologies, the Ceralians, known for their agricultural expertise, and the Tholans, masters of diplomacy, all contributed to a flourishing society. However, their unity faced a challenge when humanity's nature became a subject of concern. The humans, known for their relentless drive and martial prowess, had a history marred by conflict. Wars, territorial expansions, and internal strife painted a picture of a race that thrived on competition and conquest. The coalition, valuing peace above all, viewed humanity as a threat to their serene existence. After much deliberation, and despite protests from a few sympathetic members, they decided to banish humanity, hoping to preserve their fragile tranquility. Banished from the heart of the galaxy, humanity found refuge on a distant, inhospitable planet. The new world was harsh, with barren landscapes and extreme weather conditions. Its skies were perpetually overcast with swirling storms, and its soil was rocky and unyielding. Upon arrival, the initial struggles were immense. Food and water were scarce, and the planet's terrain was unforgiving. Sandstorms raged, and the nights brought freezing temperatures. Yet, the resilient nature of humanity shone through. Drawing on their indomitable spirit, they began to adapt. Makeshift shelters were erected using the remnants of their starships, and teams were organized to explore and exploit the planet's meager resources. Among the settlers was Captain Elena Rodriguez, a former military leader known for her strategic brilliance. Her experience in leading troops through difficult terrains made her a natural choice to lead the survival efforts. Alongside her were specialists like Dr. Malik Chin, a biologist whose knowledge was crucial in identifying edible plants and sources of water. Dr. Chin had spent years studying alien flora and fauna, and his expertise was invaluable in this new, alien environment. Ava Turner, an engineer with a knack for improvisation, became another key figure. With a background in aerospace engineering, Ava was adept at repurposing the wreckage of their ships into tools and structures necessary for survival. These key figures, along with a host of other skilled individuals, became the pillars of the fledgling community. As days turned into months, humanity's adaptability became evident. They used their survival skills to build a sustainable society from the ground up. Ingenious methods were developed to collect and purify water, utilizing condensation traps and filtration systems crafted from spaceship parts. Small-scale agriculture began to take root in the more fertile valleys they discovered. Dr. Chen's team experimented with various local plants, eventually cultivating a hybrid crop that could withstand the planet's harsh conditions. Livestock, brought from Earth, were carefully bred and managed to ensure a steady supply of food. The humans repurposed scraps and debris to construct sturdy homes and essential infrastructure. Ava Turner led teams in building wind turbines and solar panels to harness the planet's volatile weather patterns for energy. Their resourcefulness knew no bounds. Even the planet's hostile environment was gradually tamed. They built greenhouses to protect their crops from the severe climate, and underground bunkers provided safe havens during the worst storms. The community's self-sufficiency grew, driven by a shared determination to thrive despite their exile. They established a governance system that emphasized cooperation and collective responsibility. A council was formed, with representatives elected from various sectors of the community, ensuring that every voice was heard. Education and training programs were set up, ensuring that every member contributed to the society's welfare. Schools taught both traditional subjects and survival skills, preparing the next generation for the challenges ahead. Despite their past, the humans forged a future defined by resilience and ingenuity, turning their banishment into a testament to their unwavering spirit. Captain Rodriguez's leadership was instrumental, as she inspired hope and unity among the settlers. She often reminded them of their shared heritage and the strength they drew from their history of overcoming adversity. The harsh conditions they endured only strengthened their resolve and fostered a sense of solidarity. Trade routes were established between settlements, and a rudimentary economy began to develop, based on barter and mutual aid. The humans learned to utilize the planet's natural resources, mining minerals and refining them into usable materials. Their small society began to prosper in its own right, creating art, music, and culture that reflected their new life and experiences. The transformation of their hostile world into a livable environment was a story of triumph over adversity. The humans' innovative spirit led to technological advancements that not only ensured their survival, but also allowed them to flourish. They developed advanced medical facilities using a combination of Earth-based knowledge and discoveries made in their new home. This led to a healthier, more robust population capable of tackling the ongoing challenges of their environment. Their exile, intended as a punishment, became an opportunity for reinvention and growth. The skills they honed and the technologies they developed would later become invaluable, as the galaxy faced threats that the peaceful coalition races could not withstand alone. Humanity's story on this harsh planet was one of redemption and resilience, proving that even in the face of great adversity, the human spirit could not be subdued. In their isolated corner of the galaxy, humans transformed from a feared warrior race into a beacon of innovation and strength. Their journey of survival and adaptation showcased the best aspects of their nature, paving the way for a future where they would be recognized not for their capacity for war, but for their remarkable ability to thrive against all odds. The malevolent alien force, known as the cril, descended upon the galaxy with a ferocity and technological prowess that struck terror into the hearts of the coalition races. The cril were a hive-minded species, each unit connected through a central consciousness, which allowed them to coordinate their attacks with impeccable precision. Their ships, sleek and dark, bristled with advanced weaponry that could pierce through the most robust defenses. The Kril's ground forces were equally formidable, equipped with exoskeleton armor that enhanced their strength and speed, making them nearly invincible in combat. Ruthless in their tactics, they showed no mercy, exterminating entire populations to assert their dominance. The first wave of attacks hit the coalition planets hard. The peaceful Ceralian farms were the first to fall, their lush fields scorched to ashes under the Kril's relentless bombardment. The Vreen's advanced cities, once beacons of technological marvels, crumbled under the precise strikes of the Kril's weapons. The Thoan diplomatic hubs, symbols of interspecies harmony, were turned into ruins. In each attack, the Kril demonstrated their superior strategy and firepower, overwhelming the coalition's defenses with brutal efficiency. The coalition's fleets, built for exploration and minor skirmishes, stood little chance against the Kril's war machines. Desperate broadcasts for help echoed through the void, but no aid came fast enough to stem the tide of destruction. As the coalition struggled to mount a defense, the gravity of their situation became starkly clear. Their weapons, designed for peacekeeping and deterrence, were no match for the Kril's cutting-edge arsenal. Attempts to negotiate were met with silence or outright hostility, leaving no room for peaceful resolution. The coalition's military forces, unaccustomed to large-scale warfare, faltered under the pressure. In the face of such overwhelming force, scenes of devastation were commonplace. Cities lay in ruins, their inhabitants either dead or fleeing for their lives. The once thriving centers of culture and cooperation were now silent wastelands, filled with the echoes of despair. The coalition's desperation led to heated discussions among their leaders. They realized that their very survival hung in the balance, and traditional methods would no longer suffice. In a bold and controversial move, they decided to seek help from the one race known for its warrior prowess, the exiled humans. The irony was not lost on them. The very race they had banished for being too violent was now their last hope for salvation. The decision was met with mixed reactions, some viewing it as a betrayal of their principles, while others saw it as a necessary act of survival. An envoy was dispatched to the remote planet where humanity had been exiled. The journey was fraught with tension, as the coalition representatives knew they were approaching a society they had once condemned. Upon arrival, the envoy was met with wary eyes and guarded stances. Captain Elena Rodriguez and her council listened as the envoy detailed the dire situation. Skepticism was thick in the air. After all, these were the same beings who had cast them out, branding them as too dangerous to coexist with. The envoy pleaded their case, explaining that the Krail's invasion threatened the entire galaxy, and only the humans had the combat expertise necessary to mount an effective resistance. The initial response from the human leaders was mixed. Some felt a deep-seated resentment, unwilling to help those who had turned their backs on them. Others, however, saw an opportunity for redemption and a chance to prove their worth on a galactic scale. The tension in the room was palpable as arguments flew back and forth, but ultimately, the humans' sense of duty and their inherent warrior spirit began to take precedence. Rodriguez stood, her voice firm but measured, acknowledging the past grievances while also highlighting the potential future. She proposed that humanity's assistance would come with conditions, ensuring they would not return to their previous status as outcasts once the crisis was over. The envoy, understanding the gravity of their request, agreed to relay these terms back to the coalition leaders. With the seeds of a fragile alliance planted, the humans prepared to mobilize, ready to face the Krail threat head-on, not just for their own survival, but for the survival of the entire galaxy. The debate among the human leaders was fierce and emotional. Captain Elena Rodriguez opened the discussion, laying out the coalition's plea for help and the dire situation they faced. The council room buzzed with tension as voices rose in heated arguments. Some leaders, like Major Lucas Hayes, argued vehemently against aiding the coalition. "They exiled us when they thought we were a threat," he said, his voice dripping with resentment. "Why should we risk our lives for those who abandoned us?" Dr. Malakchin, however, took a more measured approach. "We have the skills and knowledge to turn the tide of this war," he said. "And if the Krail conquer the coalition, they will eventually find us. Our survival is linked to theirs." Ava Turner, ever the pragmatist, added, "This is a chance to redefine our legacy, to show that we are more than just a warrior race. We can be their saviors." The debate raged on, with points made about morality, survival, and redemption. Some feared it was a trap or that they would be used and discarded once the crisis was over. Others saw an opportunity to prove humanity's worth and secure a place in the galactic community. After hours of intense discussion, Captain Rodriguez called for a vote. The decision was made by a slim margin. Humanity would aid the coalition, but on their terms, ensuring their contributions were recognized and their future secured. With the decision to assist made, the humans swiftly shifted to preparation for battle. Training camps buzzed with activity as warriors honed their skills. Advanced training techniques, developed over years of survival on the harsh planet, were employed to ready the troops. Simulated combat scenarios were run continuously, refining strategies and ensuring every soldier was prepared for the brutal reality of war. Captain Rodriguez and her commanders devised meticulous battle plans, leveraging their deep understanding of both human and Krail tactics. Engineers like Ava Turner worked tirelessly to upgrade weapons and armor, adapting old Earth technology to the new threats. Dr. Malakchin and his team developed medical protocols and emergency response plans, knowing the critical importance of swift and effective medical care in the heat of battle. The formation of the human-led task force brought together the best of humanity with select allies from the coalition races. Key members included Captain Rodriguez, leading the charge with her unmatched strategic mind, Major Lucas Hayes, whose combat experience and tactical acumen made him a formidable force, and Ava Turner, whose technical expertise ensured the task force was equipped with cutting-edge technology. Alongside them were skilled Ceralian scouts, Tholan diplomats turned strategists, and Vreen engineers who contributed their advanced tech knowledge. This diverse team, though initially wary of each other, began to meld into a cohesive unit. Training exercises built trust and camaraderie, each member bringing unique skills and perspectives to the table. The blend of human resilience and alien ingenuity forged a powerful alliance, ready to face the Krail threat head-on. The journey to the front lines was fraught with anticipation and tension. As the task force's ships departed from the human planet, there was a palpable mix of fear and determination among the warriors. For many, this was their first return to interstellar space since their exile. The fleet moved through the dark expanse, every warrior reflecting on the mission ahead. Conversations were filled with a mix of battle plans and personal hopes, fears of failure mingled with dreams of a triumphant return. Captain Rodriguez maintained a steady presence, rallying her troops with inspiring speeches and personal reassurances. "We fight not just for survival, but for our future," she reminded them. "Our actions now will define how the galaxy sees us for generations to come." As they approached the conflict zone, the enormity of their task settled in, but so did a steely resolve. They were humanity's best, forged in exile and tempered by hardship, ready to reclaim their place in the galaxy through courage and strength. The initial skirmishes between the human-led task force and the cril invaders were intense and brutal. The first encounter took place on the outskirts of a strategically important coalition planet, where the cril had established a foothold. As the task force landed, they were immediately met with fierce resistance. Human soldiers, equipped with advanced weaponry and armor designed by Ava Turner's team, moved with precision and purpose. Their training on the harsh exile planet had honed their combat skills to a razor's edge. Captain Elena Rodriguez led the charge, coordinating ground assaults and aerial strikes with impeccable timing. The humans utilized guerrilla tactics, striking swiftly and retreating before the cril could mount a counterattack. This hit-and-run approach, combined with their superior strategic planning, allowed them to inflict significant damage on the cril forces. Major Lucas Hayes orchestrated ambushes that decimated enemy supply lines, causing chaos and confusion among the invaders. Each skirmish showcased humanity's tactical prowess, as they adapted to the cril's movements and exploited their weaknesses. In a major battle that would become a turning point in the war, the task force launched a daring assault on a heavily fortified cril stronghold. This battle was critical, as the stronghold served as a central hub for cril operations in the sector. The plan, devised by Captain Rodriguez and her top strategists, involved a multi-pronged attack designed to overwhelm the enemy from multiple fronts. As the battle commenced, human soldiers fought with unparalleled bravery and determination. One key moment came when Sergeant Maria Diaz, a former engineer-turned-soldier, led a squad through a narrow canyon to flank the cril defenses. Despite heavy fire, Diaz and her team managed to plant explosives that breached the stronghold's outer walls, allowing the main force to surge in. Meanwhile, Major Hayes coordinated an aerial assault that targeted key cril defensive positions, creating gaps in their defenses that the ground troops exploited. The humans' strategic genius was evident as they systematically dismantled the cril's defenses. Dr. Malik Chen's emergency medical protocols saved countless lives, ensuring that injured soldiers were quickly treated and returned to the fight. The combination of tactical ingenuity and sheer willpower turned the tide of the battle. The cril, unaccustomed to facing such relentless and adaptive opponents, began to falter. By the end of the day, the stronghold had fallen, and the cril forces were in full retreat. This victory marked a significant shift in the war, showcasing the humans' capability to not only hold their own but to dominate in battle. As the war progressed, the coalition races began to see the humans in a new light. Initial skepticism and prejudice gave way to respect and admiration. Stories of human bravery and strategic brilliance spread throughout the coalition. Lolan diplomats, who had once argued for humanity's banishment, now spoke of their courage and indispensable contributions. Green engineers, initially reluctant to collaborate, began working closely with human counterparts, sharing knowledge and forging bonds of friendship. Moments of camaraderie and unity emerged on and off the battlefield. Ceralian scouts, once wary of humans, found common ground in their shared mission. Joint training exercises and shared meals fostered a sense of solidarity. Cultural exchanges, facilitated by Lolan diplomats, helped bridge the gaps of misunderstanding and mistrust. The war effort was no longer just about survival. It was about forging a new future together. Humanity's actions had redefined their place in the galaxy, transforming from outcasts to leaders and heroes. The final victory came with a coordinated assault on the cril's main fleet. Utilizing everything they had learned, the coalition forces executed a flawless campaign that left the cril no room to regroup. Captain Rodriguez led the final push, her leadership inspiring both human and alien soldiers to fight with everything they had. The cril, facing relentless and united opposition, were finally defeated. In the aftermath, The coalition celebrated not just the end of the war but the beginning of a new era. The humans, once exiled and scorned, were now hailed as saviors. The coalition formally rescinded their banishment, welcoming humanity back into the fold as equals and allies. Reconstruction efforts began, with humans playing a vital role in rebuilding the war-torn planets. Their innovative spirit and indomitable will drove progress and healing. Humanity's redemption was complete. They had proven that their warrior nature, when guided by principles of justice and cooperation, could be a force for good. The galaxy had changed forever, with humans now recognized as an integral part of the coalition. The bonds forged in the fires of war promised a future of lasting peace and collaboration, as the once banished race found its rightful place among the stars.